All right. Hey, it's an XRP Saturday Night Live, welcoming you to the month of February. It's been a busy first month here of 2025. I hope you guys are tapped in with us. If you are new here, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're going to be breaking down the current events, financial markets, and how to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Yes, it includes memes, metals, utility, digital assets. You might want to start a side hustle. You might want to scale up the business, or, hey, figure out how to get a raise at your job. You need to keep it coming in. And then after we get it coming in, we need to figure out what to invest in. And I'll tell you right now that the assets that we have chosen so far are holding up incredibly well. They're actually holding up the best against all of this market turbulence, chaos, tariffs, and everything else that we're going to be breaking down in tonight's update. And most importantly, not only are these assets holding up well, we're talking about gold at all-time highs. All this taking place, gold doesn't care. It's at an all-time high. Silver popping up to $33 per ounce on the futures. That's almost a $33 silver we're looking at. XRP, we've closed off 16 days above $3. We just broke our streak. Bad news. I got bad news. We did break our streak, and so we did finish the day below $3 for XRP. But is there anything to be concerned about? Absolutely not. In fact, like I said, we're holding up very well. And when you look at the V-shaped recovery that's down the road for us here, it's going to be tremendous. I think that we're holding up the best right now, and we're going to perform the best going forward after we recover from whatever happens, whether it's Trump's trade war, tariff war now live, World War III's been live. Obviously, turbulence here back home in the States internally. We still have a record deficit and a debt problem. The aliens might show up. Oh, wait, the aliens, they weren't the drones over there in New Jersey weren't the aliens. I forgot. That was just the Biden administration deciding not to give us a heads up that they were going to be testing some drones. So that wasn't the aliens. But the aliens might show up. And we are ready, we are prepared, we are praying, and we're making moves every single day. I just want to give a shout out to this community because you guys inspire me. You guys make this a lot of fun to show up every single day. I don't feel like I'm working at all. And so it's just an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. Saturday Night Live, full breakdown. We're going to get started. Side note, you guys will appreciate this. I did get a workout in today. I got actually 2 workouts in today. So I finished my second workout just now here before we got live. Got myself a nice little pump in. I'm nice and jacked up and ready to go for the Saturday Night Live. Didn't stop me from pouring myself an adult beverage though. Don't get confused here. And I did have a nice burger for dinner. So I got my gains in, but now it's time to hydrate. And earlier I got my first workout in by taking the kids off to go play in the snow. So let me know if you guys get this type of crazy weather where you live. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, it's wild. I get a tip. I checked Facebook for the first time in a couple months. I looked at Facebook and I saw, liberals having a meltdown over Trump's tariffs and everybody freaking out. The world's going to end because of these tariffs, right? I'm like, okay. I went on to check the weather, okay? And I checked the weather and I see that it was snowing just about 10 miles east of me in the county. And so I said, okay, great. I did what every dad does. And I said, okay, kids, we're rocking and rolling. We're going sledding. We just picked up a second sled. So we got one for each kid. We're going to go tug them along. And so we ran over to the other side of the county where it was snowing. And we got there. There's, about an inch and a half on the ground, enough to pull the kids around on the sled. And so I got a nice leg workout in, which I needed. I've been missing the leg workout. So that was a good leg workout, pulling the kids around. But it's just incredible over here in Washington because where I was at, there was no snow. It was sunny. We drive over to the other side of the county and there was snow down and it was still sunny. So I'm out there in my snow gear with my shades on. Well, then we see the new storm clouds come in and then it starts raining on us. Then we get about 10, 15 minutes of rain before it turns into massive hail and snow. So I'm taking off my shades. I'm like, okay, I guess I don't need these anymore. We pack it up, get in the car, start driving back home, and then the sun comes out again. It's just crazy out here in Washington. It's like 5 minutes later, it's doing something completely different. But I am excited. It looks like we got our first snowstorm of the year coming in here to the Pacific Northwest. Absolutely no complaints up here. Our weather's been tremendous. climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it, it's been working out really well for us. Our summers have been spot on, 75 to 80 degrees, nice and dry. And then our winters, we have been relatively mild, and we usually get 1 or 2 snowstorms that pass through during the year. No complaints out here. We're absolutely blessed. And like I said, I was able to get in a nice little leg workout, pulling the kids around. Boy, they're getting big. Had a lot of fun and excited to come here for tonight's live. Guys, and I was just thinking about this. You know, the markets were down today. I didn't even know. I only knew that the markets were down because I was reading the comments on my YouTube video, and, you know, people are crying about the prices being down. I'm not in an active trade. And when I'm not in an active trade, you got to go out and enjoy life. I said it the other day, go out and touch grass. Well, today I couldn't go touch grass, but we went and touched some snow. Went and got a pump in. Focus on what you can control right now, because just because the markets are back down doesn't mean you have to have a bad day. Don't get too emotionally involved here in this investing. We want to be non-emotional. When it's pumping up, yeah, celebrate, have a good time, but don't get euphoric. When the markets are down, we don't need to get depressed. Go catch a pump, go touch some grass, and go tell your wife, your significant other that you love them. It's going to be okay, okay? Let's get it rocking and rolling, folks. We have a lot to cover. I hope you guys are doing well out here. This is what all the fuss is about. President Trump, I have implemented a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada, 10% on Canadian energy, and a 10% additional tariff on China. This was done through the International Emergency Economic Powers Act because of the major threats of illegal aliens and deadly drugs killing our citizens. We need to protect Americans, and it is my duty as president to ensure the safety of all. I made a promise on my campaign to stop the flood of illegal aliens and drugs from pouring across our borders, and Americans overwhelmingly voted in favor of it. So once again, folks, 25% tariffs on basically everything coming out of Mexico and Canada into the United States, 25%. Now on Canadian energy, oil, I don't know what other maybe we get some other sources of energy there. I'm guessing natural gas too, maybe. 10% tariffs on that. And then an additional 10% on China. Okay? That's where we're at. Do you need to freak out? Do you need to react? Well, that's exactly what the media wants you to do. That's exactly what the market makers have set this up for, is for you to panic and freak out because we get a little bit of a shakeout, a little bit of a pullback, while the markets are, at just incredibly low level of volume. I took a screenshot earlier, and I meant to pull it up for tonight's show, but basically the point stands. Go to Coinbase for yourself. Go look at the volume on the exchange. There was only 300 million of volume for Bitcoin today and about 300 million of volume for XRP. There's nothing happening besides market maker magicians manipulating this market, manipulating your emotions, and an overreaction from the media that wants us to live in a perpetual state of fear. Let me make my point very simply here. Now, we all thought that the world was going to come to an end, right, in March of 2020, right? And we had good reason, right? It was scary. Oh, boy. Oh, wow. I was worried, too. I was a little concerned, right? Thank goodness we've been prepping and praying for a long time. We were ready for it, but it was concerning, right? Then we come to find out a few weeks later that it wasn't too much of a fuss. But did that stop the media? And did that stop us from having one of the largest V-shaped recoveries in the history of our markets? Absolutely not. And so if you would have acted and invested as if the world was coming to an end in March of 2020, and you would have completely sidelined, gone to all cash, gone for the bunker, gone for the hills, close up the farm, button up the hatches, we're done for, this is it. This is it, guys. Nice knowing you. You would have missed the largest V-shaped recovery and the fastest V-shaped recovery that we've ever had in the history of our markets. Now, despite everything that we face, tariffs, war, civil war, aliens, no matter what it's going to be, we will recover. We will bounce back because the assets that we are stacking, as I said, they are holding up the best and they are going to perform even better when we recover because these are the assets that are going to back and run the tracks for the new financial system. Gold, silver, real commodities, right? XRP, other utility digital assets, real value is still holding up very well. Yeah, the market was down a little bit, but relatively speaking, we're still in an incredible position of strength. And so I want to make this point here to get started. While everybody's freaking out about tariffs, while everybody's running, oh, this is the end of the world. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no, Canada's going to tax our Teslas going up to Canada. What are we going to do? Oh, no, 100% tax from Trudeau on our Teslas. How are we going to survive, guys? And I don't mean to come off as an arrogant American, because I understand that this is going to cause pressure. I understand that there's going to be some pain. I'm leaning into it because we need to do it to save our country. What is the alternative? To keep running up record deficits? To keep on expanding our debt? To keep on devaluing our currency? To keep on getting bent over on the world stage by every other country? That's the alternative. So rip the Band-Aid off. If my cheap crap from China costs me an extra 10 to 20%, or heaven forbid another 100%, well, maybe I don't even need the crap in the first place. And we produce all the food that we need. We have everything that we need here. It is nice to pull in some of this stuff. We can't survive on our own. We do need some imports, okay? But America will survive. And what is the threat that Trudeau has against us? Tax our Teslas? Joe Smith in Kentucky does not give a flying you-know-what about Teslas being tariffed going into Canada. The average American doesn't care. The only people that would care would be Tesla bag holders. Those are the only people that are going to be concerned about that at all. You're going to tariff our liquor. Okay, sure. That's okay. Yeah, we might have some liquor companies that get pinched out a little bit, right? But what are these states announcing? What are these countries announcing? Mexico has announced that it will join Canada in imposing retaliatory tariffs on the United States, specifically targeting red states. So this has become the biggest political show ever, proven right here by the point that now they want to make this about red versus blue states, right? So don't worry, California. Don't worry, Washington. Don't worry, Oregon. We're not going to, mess with you guys. But the rest of the heartland of America that, like I said, doesn't give a flying you-know-what if you're going to put a tariff on Teslas. As Joe Smith goes and fills up his diesel truck, do you think he cares about tariffs on Teslas? Not a chance. Not a chance. Okay? And you have to remember, at the end of the day, what this is all about is where Trump is starting negotiations at. It wouldn't have to be this way if we were getting a fair deal. And like I said, the alternative is not an option as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if my cheap crap from China is going to cost me more. Whatever pain we have to go through is necessary. Federal government cuts, 2 million layoffs potentially, right? Sending out the letter, everybody show up to the office or you're fired. This is part of the growing pains that we have to go to. And what was the media doing all week long? Oh my gosh, are you going to fire any FFA or FAA air traffic controllers? How are we going to live without so many federal employees? How are we going to survive? If the media is telling us to be in full panic, we probably need to be just sitting back, enjoying our adult beverage, focusing on our investments, focusing on our business, taking care of our family, and laughing at this media. The Mockingbird media, they all have the same script. Make the masses panic over tariffs that literally nobody even knows what impact is going to be felt by it. The leading economists don't even know what's going to happen. But what does it do? It gives the media something to talk about. We go down these hypothetical rabbit holes about the world ending over some tariffs. It's baloney. But the real ones are sitting tight, like I said. The real ones see through this. And they're not falling for this because this is the reaction that they want. Thousands of people booed while the U.S. national anthem was being sung at an NHL game after Trump announced the tariffs. This is in Ottawa. I don't know who Ottawa was playing. I can't even remember who the team up there in Ottawa is. What is it? I completely forget. I used to know so much about sports. Now my mind's so full of financial news and data that I can't even remember. I don't even know who's on my favorite team. I don't even know who the quarterback of the Packers is anymore. But this is the reaction that they want. Canadians booing Americans. Americans saying, screw all you guys, which is not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is we have to start the negotiations from somewhere. Trump is starting them, pretty high up and pretty strong, and we'll work back from here. But at the end of the day, the average population here, we just want a mutual deal that benefits both sides. Americans want to benefit from trade with Canada. Canadians want to benefit from trade with Americans. And the same goes for our relations in Mexico and countries around the world. And we can't let politics and the media divide us and, most importantly, distract us from the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's like I said, do not let your opinion of Donald Trump get in the way of you taking advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's going to happen with or without you. So, the alternative is to sit and pout and be offended by Trump. The alternative is to sit at a hockey game and boo the national anthem of the United States as if that's going to accomplish anything. You're feeding right into what they want. By panicking about your portfolio, you're giving them what they want. They want to harvest your energy. They want you distracted. They want you in that perpetual state of fear. We're not going to let it happen. This is what they do. These are the market makers that are taking advantage of you right now. Trading Axe on Twitter. This guy, I don't know if this is real or not, but whether or not this guy is for real, whether or not his story's real or not, this is what he's describing is exactly what is taking place with these market maker magicians behind the scenes. This is what they're doing with you. He says, I was the lead market maker at Jump. I'm no longer under NDA, so I can say this. Typically, when you see moves during the weekend like this, it is pure market manipulation. It was one of the tactics I invented during the low volume moments. What did I say about Coinbase and the broader market right now? You have 300 million of volume on XRP today, on Coinbase alone. I mean, the volume on XRP, I'm going to pull up CoinMarketCap right now just because I'm curious to see what this was, today's volume. Today's overall volume was 97 billion. It's down 21%, in the past day. The volume's down 21%. The volume was $5 billion dollars worth of XRP. Now, the peak that we had, the highest volume day ever that we had for XRP was December 2nd when it pumped up to $1.90. That was $2.90 when it pumped up to $2.90. And that was 25 billion of volume versus the 5 billion that we're seeing right now. And I'm telling you, the volume that you're seeing on these exchanges, 500 million on, I'll show you right here. Here's the list. You got 500 million on XRP USDT on Binance, 188 million here on Binance FD USD pairing, 220 million, 350. I mean, there is not much volume happening. Not much volume happening at all. And so what the market makers are doing at this time is they're feeding into that, and it's actually easier for them to manipulate the markets during this time. We would load up and pay attention to crypto Twitter as a source of sentiment with specific accounts organized in specific categories. This is very coordinated, guys, this manipulation. One thing I used to like doing was purposely nuking a new 4-hour candle on Bitcoin and or Ethereum, which was an easy trap. Smart traders know we'll eventually revisit those wickless candles, so it was good bait for me to set with eager buyers stepping in the candle continuing lower. They end up capitulating before we reverse. Bottom shorters get comfortable here too. So it's basically saying, you nuke a 4-hour chart, a new 4-hour candle, you nuke it right as it starts, and basically the smart traders go, oh wow, we just wick down below a level of support. This is not going to last long, and they start to buy in. But they push it lower and lower and lower. And then he says they end up capitulating before we reverse. Remember, these exchanges have our orders. They have all of the order books right in front of them. They get to see our trades. And if you think that they're not looking at our trades and trading against you, and if it's not them directly, it's their market maker friends, and they get the kickback, that's how this game is played. Okay? I've always described this game as you're going to the casino, and the casino gets to see your hand every single time. That's what gambling in the crypto casino is. Not only is the table stacked against you, but they actually get to see your hand as well. Now, as he says, the smart traders that buy into this get squeezed out as they push the price lower and lower, and they end up capitulating before we get the reversal back to the upside. Now they push it down so low that then the bottom shorters get comfortable. Anyway, I can't give away too much, but just know, and the point that I want to make there is they're finding the max pain points. They see where the volume profile is on these charts, and they know the exact level where the most amount of liquidations are going to take place. And when that's getting liquidated, they get to take your assets. They get to take your margin. When you get margin called and they take out your whole position, right? They're running with your money. And they know the exact levels to send these charts to for a max pain point, max liquidation. Most of those bad price action you see is a group of whales sitting in a chat room together and merely oil painting on charts. This is fun. This is a game to these guys. My alias in Jump was Vincent Van Gogh, and that isn't because I lost my mind, well, that too, but because I painted some of the best looking bear traps. I know an influenced painter copying my work when I see one. Stay safe. And that's where we're at with these markets, right? Where we got, all of these exchanges, they get to see the order books, they get to see your trade. And not only that, they also have additional tools at their disposal, like their own stablecoins, like Tether, right? These are additional tools that they're using along with wash trading to manipulate these prices. And it's even easier to do on low volume days like today. Are there really that many people selling off XRP right now? No, there's not. No. And what you're seeing too is leverage comes in and folks get a little bit ahead of their skis. And so they're clearing us out on both sides. They're clearing out the shorters at the bottom, and they're clearing out everybody who's, trying to pile in and go long by just squeezing that and pushing that price lower artificially. Now, furthermore, this is Dom Trader View, and I think he gives us some good perspective here on these markets. He says, I see many trying to blame or single out reasons for the market conditions we have seen. Let me explain my thoughts after watching this industry grow over the last 8 years. You got folks saying, I blame Trump coin, I blame Melania coin. Well, crypto has become a casino filled with overly greedy degenerates hoping to take money from each other or newcomers, especially in the meme coins. That's exactly what meme coin trading is. It is player versus player, full stop. Blame no other than the market participants themselves. This behavior seems similar to eating itself alive. We are cannibalizing ourselves. Why are most people involved in crypto? Because they want to make money and think it's a way to get rich quick. Most people don't want to learn how to master the craft of trading and putting in the actual work. Or I would add, taking the time to fundamentally research, right? To research fundamentals of a project, right? They are looking for the next 100x overnight in the trenches, right? Why? Participants of this market have made that cool along with simply human greed. 99.9% of this market is pure vaporware. Remember when Brad Garlinghouse said that 99% of crypto goes away? Yep. Why is crypto even around? New industries come about because they solve a real world problem. What good has 99% of crypto brought to the world so far? Go down the top 500 coins and ask yourself, what problems are these projects actually solving, and what solution do they offer to the real world? Who is using them outside of the participants listed above? What's the number one question that I ask of every single project? Who the hell is using your token? It's very simple. And the answer from that question saves me hours of researching projects that are not worth my time. Because if that answer cannot be delivered to me, I know I don't need to waste my time looking into your project, unless it's brand new. If the token launched tomorrow or yesterday, then you might not have any adoption yet, okay? But for a lot of these coins that have been around for years, and you ask the simple question, who the hell is using your token? And they can say, well, we got so-and-so on the governing council. Well, we did a collab with this person. Well, I'm friends with them. And we did a Photoshop here right before we did a fireside chat and we chatted. Okay, great. Who's using the token? Who's holding the token? And like I said, when that can't be answered, we don't need to waste our time. As he says, who is using them outside of the participants listed above? Who is using or holding these tokens besides participants who want to get rich quick? That's, the question that really, saves you from having to look into 90% of projects. Imagine we had the stock market, but each stock was just a promise of a company or solution. No actual product or consistent use of one. That's literally most of crypto. Where has the attention of crypto shifted to over the last year or so? Which narrative-backed vaporware meme will pump next? Most newcomers are drawn to this, fueling a degenerate gambling culture where people try to extract money from each other without adding any value. So what's this all mean? Look at the coins that are up the most since the election. They are all utility coins. What did I say at the very beginning of this episode? What is still holding up very well? What is actually holding up the best? Gold, silver, and utility cryptocurrencies. There's a reason for this. They are all utility coins, or at least a strong promise to provide utility or a solution to the world. That's where I think crypto is silently headed while everyone is distracted on the next coin in the trenches that will retire them. For the first time ever, we will likely have clear regulations and rules this year. Excuse me. Do you think that real sideline capital is coming into vaporware? Do you think the financial system will be improved with vaporware? No. Perceived or potential utility will. Vaporware will not survive. It can't survive. It's time for this industry to take its next step in the evolution of growth, and that's getting back to where I thought we were in 2017. Look at the past 2 months. Bitcoin at 100,000, select utility-driven alts holding strong, almost everything else destroyed. Ask yourself why. Those of you who have followed me for a while know I've never shilled anything, and neither have I, right? I've only ever talked about select large caps. Now you see why. I don't associate with the degenerate side of crypto. I'm here to educate and refine my trading skills. Trading liquid assets is a real, versatile skill set. Ask yourself what side you are feeding your attention to. I think one side is bound to die, and we've already seen the inevitable crash out. So that's why we've seen these market conditions, and I think it's been signaling a very important turning point for those who have been watching. Now, I was talking about this in our Discord weekly call this morning, commenting on how everybody's waiting around for alt season. When's alt season going to get here? The way that I'm looking at this right now is we have a completely different situation, and you cannot expect us to have a similar rotation to an alt season, right? The historical rotation that we get from Bitcoin to Ethereum to alts. That's not going to happen. Ethereum is struggling, if you haven't noticed, yeah, right? I try not to beat up on it too much. It's having a rough go at it, to put it nicely. Although it's up since the election, it's nowhere near XRP and our utility assets. It's struggling. Bitcoin, although it's up, not quite as much as others, but it has gone up to 100,000, and Bitcoin dominance has remained. So Bitcoin's doing all right. It's holding strong. And then our utility cryptos have been the ones that have been running, right? And yes, I have dipped into the meme coins, and I have dipped into the degenerate side of cryptocurrency, but I've gone in with that mindset. It's just like when I go to the casino. I go there with $50, $100. I'm not going there because I need to flip my $50 or $100 into 500 to pay my bills. I'm going there for entertainment purposes. I bought Bitcoin Maxi tiers because I think it's funny as hell. The more the Bitcoin Maxis cry, the higher it goes, right? And for the large part, I've stayed away from the degeneracy. And with the small portion of my portfolio that I play with the memes, it's not even worth mentioning. It's so small, the amount of my portfolio that I'm playing with the memes, although we have made pretty substantial returns doing so. But it all goes back into utility. And my focus for the last 7 years that I've been investing in crypto has been 100% on utility. Now, what we're seeing is folks are struggling to understand why isn't, my coin going up? Because it's one, either lacking attention, or two, there's not real development and adoption. See, with XRP, you got both. You have attention, a lot of attention. Every time I flip on TikTok, there's like 6 TikTok lives talking about XRP. I mean, every time I turn on TikTok, it's a kid talking about XRP, a soccer mom talking about XRP, some 70-year-old guy talking about XRP, and I'm here for it. God bless it. God bless them all. Every time I look at Twitter, there's like 3 XRP spaces running, 24/7, 365. This is attention. But we also have real development and real adoption. Now, take note, because I did my first 2025 coin review. I created a new playlist for these coin reviews, and I did XCN to get started. And I dropped a full 30-minute deep dive. And somebody had commented, nobody wants to watch a 30-minute video. And I responded, I said, that's why it's called a deep dive. If you want a quick hype video on this coin, there's plenty of other crap out there to go watch. So go soak up that if you want some more hype on this coin. People come to me for the truth. Unbiased, unfiltered truth. We're not here to be friends. We're here to be effective. And because we are so effective, we end up becoming friends. And because we keep our relationship so honest and truthful between each other, we do establish a little bit of a friendship. But I like to reiterate that we're here to be effective first and foremost. And so for all these people that ask me, hey, review my coin, be careful what you ask for. Because if you want me to blow smoke up your you-know-what and pump up your coin, you're going to be greatly displeased. Because 9 out of 10 times, and people are saying, well, it's clear that you're just biased towards every other coin besides XRP. No, there's a reason why we call it XRP the standard. There's a reason why I've been saying that Ripple's setting the standard. I compare every company to Ripple. I compare every single digital asset to XRP. I compare every single blockchain to the XRP ledger. Why? Because it has set the standard for, 1, how to create a decentralized network, 2, how to distribute through tokenomics, how to distribute the supply of the tokens, and then 3, Ripple has set the standard as far as being a transparent company. And there's a list of other reasons too, but that's why I compare everything else to Ripple, every other company to Ripple, every other digital asset to XRP, and every other blockchain to the XRP ledger. I can see who's using XRP. I can see who's buying XRP. I can see who's partnered up with Ripple, but is not using XRP. And that was a big learning lesson for us in the XRP community. We had to swallow that one, and it was a tough pill to swallow when we realized that, oh, wait, not everybody partnered up with Ripple is using XRP. But that was part of our learning. And I see a lot of these other projects that are coming along, and these guys are coming up with basically riddles for these coins. The most dramatic stretches that I've seen. I saw just crazy stuff over the past week with a few tokens, XCN being one of them, where folks are saying that it's involved with BlackRock. No, it's not. Folks are saying that it's the JPM coin. No, it's not. Has nothing to do with JP Morgan. That was a separate project. And they rebranded their project to Kinesis. And folks are coming up with this conspiracy theories about, oh, JP Morgan doesn't want to know that they rebranded XCN. No, that's not the case. They have JPM coin. They have a separate blockchain. And it's never had anything to do with Chain or XCN. And what I found in my deep dive research is that the early investors in Chain no longer have anything to do with Chain or XCN. I don't know if they're even still invested in Chain, or if they already got their exit the first time it got sold out, or if they got their exit the second time it got sold out. I don't know who owns it. I don't know who's running the company. I asked who's the CEO. Nobody knows. Somebody sent me a DM. I got all sorts of comments reacting. Oh, this is paid FUD from Ripple. Oh, you're just a bias towards everything else. No, I can't verify who the hell is running this company. And I asked Twitter. There's all these thousands of people hold this token, but nobody knows who's running the company Chain. And then people say, well, what about this little project called Bitcoin? Nobody's got their face behind that, and it went to 100,000. There's a big, big difference, okay, between Bitcoin being the first mover and the whole idea of Satoshi being anonymous has been well understood, versus this small ecosystem that needs a company driving adoption, that needs builders driving adoption. And the problem with all of these ERC20 tokens is that they're not their own distinct layer one. They're not their own blockchain. So you can't even see, on the XRP ledger, you can see who our validators are. I'm going to show you here in a couple slides who a new validator that just came in, and he's sharing his experience on running an XRP ledger validator. And we can see who's building on the XRP ledger, right? When it comes to XCN, Chain is the only company that I can see that's actually building using this protocol. And other than that, I don't know anybody else who's using I don't know who's using Chain services. I know about a deal with Tiffany and Company back in 2022. I know that they did a deal with the Miami Heat. I know that NASDAQ invested back in 2015 along with Citigroup and Visa and Capital One. And yeah, that was great back in 2015. Adam Ludwin, the CEO of Chain, really used that to hype up the project back then. And effectively did what we would want to see out of any CEO. He leaned into these relationships and partnerships with these early investors, and he was doing testing and proof of concepts with Visa, NASDAQ, Visa's B2B Connect product. Chain was part of that from the very beginning. They helped Visa create this. Now, when you go to Visa's documentation, Chain's nowhere to be seen. XCN's nowhere to be seen. But can you handle the truth? Once again, do you really want me to deep dive your project? Or do you want me to blow smoke up your... Ask yourself that question before you ask me to review your coin. Because if I'm going to sit down and review the coin, we're going to look into it. And if you can't see for yourself that when you look at a company's website and there's not one face on it, that's not a red flag, I don't know what we're evaluating these projects differently. Because, okay, fine. You know, we don't need a face on Chain. We don't need to know who owns Chain. Okay, well, who else is using this token? Oh, you can stake it. Great. Great. What else? Oh, you get a discount on Chain services. Great. Now, if it sounds like I'm being harsh, it might be because you're emotional or overinvested. Instead of being able to take a step back here and actually say, hey, I need to understand what I'm invested in here. Not just because a YouTuber hyped this up. Not just because I'm hearing some narrative. Not just because I'm hearing some, story. Because with a lot of these projects, that's all that's being sold. And let me be very clear. Just because I'm finding all these red flags and negatives doesn't mean that I'm dumping my bag of XCN. At this point, I have such a small bag that I don't care. I already took my money and ran on XCN. And I know people were saying too, oh, you bought in late. Oh, you already dumped your bag. This is just FUD. I'm not paid by anybody. Everybody knows my biggest bag's XRP. But other than that, I keep a trading bag, fluid and mobile so I can go chase opportunities. If I saw opportunities in the stock market, I would go there. If I see opportunities in the meme, I'll go there. If I see an opportunity on an XCN at a penny, I'll go there. But then I'm also going to get out because there's a big difference between trading a coin off of momentum and holding a coin off of fundamentals. And that's the difference for me. I said that I'm going to continue to hold this. I'm going to continue to hold it to trade. I'm not going to hold it for long term. And I also said that I'd be happy to be proven wrong. And also, I understand some people said that I should have waited until Monday when the white paper drops. Well, what I have to work with now is enough to do a deep dive and enough to do evaluation. And I will provide a follow-up next week after the white paper drops. And I'd be happy to be proven wrong. And I would love to see all of you guys who decide to, double down, invest further, or hold XCN till it goes to a new all-time high. I hope you make all the money. I sincerely mean that. I don't speak like this to talk to bash a project or to FUD a project, just to explain why I am not going to be holding it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I can invest in what I want to invest in. You can invest in what you want to invest in. Personally, I'm going to offload my entire bag, the rest of my bag, before we even get to an all-time high. Full disclosure, if you want to know where I'm at. Like I said, I'll be happy to be wrong. But, it's interesting to know. And we're going to be going through. So please, on my list, we're going to be doing H-bar next. I'm going to do Sologenic and Corium in one video. And then I also have Flare on my list. A lot of people have been asking about Quant. Okay, I will do Quant as well. But if you guys have any other coins that you want me to add to my 2025 coin reviews, please do so. I will follow up. But just be aware. Be aware. I'm not here to be nice. I'm not here to be friendly. I'm here to make money. And I'm here to make sure that you guys make money. Okay? Appreciate you guys. Tether is likely the most profitable company in the world per employee. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is to show you guys just how profitable this stablecoin business really is. And I need to take a sip of my adult beverage because I'm sweating. Are we cooking tonight or what? How's it going, chat? What's the vibe out here? Did I go too harsh? Am I being too mean? Can you handle the truth? Come on. Big boy panties. Big girl pants, I mean. Let's go. Don't cry about it. The reason why I wanted to show you guys this is to show you how profitable this stablecoin business is. $85 million profit per employee. The next closest is Nvidia at $1 million profit per employee. Now, when you look at this on the graph, it looks just ridiculous, right? This is the graph right here. Okay. Can I dive into ACH and Swift coin? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I see we got a super chat. I was talking about XCN. I saw somebody just ask, what coin was I talking about? XCN. RT, thank you for your 50 spot, my friend. That's a big one, and I really do appreciate that. Please add OXT. I've never heard of that coin. Careful what you ask for. OXT, okay. I appreciate that super chat, Ryan. RT, thank you. Now, let me slide up here. I want to make sure I didn't miss any other super chats before we get too much further along. Jeremy, thank you for the 2 spot. Thank you for two spots. Does anyone want to trade Fartcoin? That's all you, Jeremy. That's good. I'm passing on that one. Jeremy says, what's your top utility-driven altcoins to invest in 2025? Love your work. Thank you for the 10 spot, Jeremy. XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand. I did buy a bag of Say. I'm still waiting to see more. See, I buy into some of these coins, but I'm still like, I get frustrated with them. You know what I'm saying? It's like Flare. Flare's been one of the most frustrating investments for me, but yet I still hold it, and I still think that it's going to do very well for me. I've just been frustrated with it, right? Flare's another coin that I'm holding as well. Trying to think of any others that, are big utility bags of mine. That's really about it right now. Dennis, thank you for the Thai bot, 40 spot. Appreciate that. BNY Mellon. Yeah. What is that? Roth. Wow. So we got somebody else going from BNY Mellon to Ripple. Thank you for the super chat there, Dennis. Appreciate that. John Patton, 5 spot. Zach, thanks for the XCN deep dive. I'm a degenerate, so I'm going to write it out. See, that's the spirit, John. That is the spirit right there. To respect somebody else's opinion, but to admit to yourself that you're a degen and you're going to write it out. God bless you, my friend. And that's why I hope it works out. I really do. Those that are good sports, we can have fun. If you're offended, well, you're probably already gone by now. Jay Redmond, 5 spot, reserve rights, RSR. Oh, that's been an old one. Yeah, RSR. Mark, thank you for the 5 spot. Japan Bank set to use XRP this week. Why is no one talking about this? SBI Shinsei Bank went live. Yeah. They've been using Ripple's DLT technology. That announcement did come out. One of many banks that is using XRP in Japan. Yeah, Japan loves XRP over there. We're going to see a lot of activity spark up this year in Japan, in my opinion. Yeah, it's going to be big. Nobody's talking about it. The reason why I'm not talking about it, the comments that I've made is kind of trying to clarify on the comments from Yoshitaka Kitao, the CEO of SBI Holdings, that got taken out of context when he said that every bank in Japan was going to use XRP in 2025. That was a comment that got taken out of context when he was describing the World Trade Expo or convention that they're going to be having, where basically every attendee is going to get an NFT on the XRP ledger as like their proof of ticket or whatever. So that comment that he made got taken out of context, but I have tried to clarify for folks that in fact, yes, many banks in Japan already are using XRP, and many more are still yet to come. But I will wait till I get the official confirmation on that. But see, this is a big difference. We look for official confirmation, but at a certain point, you get to a level where you have enough information to make an investment decision. That's where I'm at with XRP. Do I need to wait to see and get the confirmation that every bank in Japan is using XRP? No, because I already know about multiple banks in Japan. I already know about the on-demand liquidity corridors that Ripple has had flowing in the APAC region for years. So I don't need to wait for the official headline to come out. It's just like I don't need to wait for the official confirmation from Bank of America to come out when we know that Bank of America was already working on it. We know that they said that they were waiting to use XRP for a competitive advantage after the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit concluded. So I don't need to wait for the official headline to come out that Bank of America is using XRP again. I have enough information to make that investment decision now. Yeah, Swift Coin, I know a lot of people want to talk about that one. Stronghold too, I do hold that one. Okay. I want to continue though, because you have to understand Ripple's stablecoin business here has the potential to generate them billions of dollars in profit per year. This is a company that was valued at about 10 billion before the election. After Trump's victory, they are now valued at about 20 billion on Link2's platform. I haven't checked other private equity platforms, but we're seeing that Ripple's valuation has basically doubled since the election. But the cash flow that they could be making from the stablecoin business, if they even just do half of what Tether's doing, you're talking about a few $billion per year profit straight to the bottom line. That's how important this stablecoin business is going to be for Ripple. And so, yeah, while Tether's making more profit per year than BlackRock. That's not going to last forever, right? And Tether's making, what is the number there? 85 million profit per employee. That's not going to last forever. And you're seeing Tether's being delisted off of crypto.com, off of Kraken in Europe right now. Crypto.com already delisted it January 31st yesterday. And Kraken is going to be in March, I believe. But check that. If you guys are in Europe and you use any of these platforms, not just those two exchanges, but we're seeing Tether is being delisted off of almost every exchange over in Europe right now. So this dynamic where Tether is just this little like shell company, we don't know where the reserves are, but they're printing 5 billion profit per year, 85 million profit per employee. It's been good times, but that party's about to come to an end, in my opinion. And you're already starting to see, you know, when I took the screenshot of the volume on Coinbase today, the number one pairing for volume was actually USDT and US dollars. So basically the number one pair volume-wise on Coinbase today was people dumping Tether to go into US dollars. Even though Tether's not being delisted in the United States so far, I mean, we could see it being delisted, but so far it hasn't been. But Americans and most people are already fed up. They're already done. And so the largest volume pairing on Coinbase today was people dumping their USDT to go to US dollars. And I think it's only going to pick up from here. Now, I haven't actually watched this clip yet. Digital Asset Investor shared this one. Looks like Roger Ver is bullish on XRP. I read Roger's book, Hijacking Bitcoin, and I would encourage everybody to take a look at it, to read it. I listened to the Audible version. It's a great history lesson on Bitcoin and the truth about the block wars that took place in 2017 when Roger Ver was forced to fork Bitcoin and create Bitcoin Cash. It's incredible. And it's really relevant and kind of insightful to see, because you see that the same Bitcoin core developers that were censoring Roger and all of the other developers and miners on Bitcoin that were in favor of larger blocks, the Bitcoin core developers that were against it were actively censoring and attacking and DDoSing all of these other guys, and prevented and won the block war to keep the block size small so that the miners can make more dough. But the sacrifice made was that Bitcoin did not scale, and still cannot scale at this point. And so Roger Ver, he was at the end of that. And now fast forward here to 2025, and now the same group of Bitcoin maxis, many of them were in favor of, Bitcoin Core or were Bitcoin Core developers themselves, are now the ones attacking XRP. And God forbid XRP is considered in the strategic reserve. But Roger Ver, he was actually one of the co-founders of Ripple, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the first investors. He says he was the first investor in Bitcoin, and he was one of the first investors in Ripple as well. Take a listen in on this clip.
Probably
with Ripple getting into the stablecoin game, and just, I believe you can build smart contracts on their ledger as well. Like, what's your outlook for Ripple or XRP next 5 years?
I think pretty bullish. Like, they're probably, because they're run as more as a company, they've probably been one of the most effective cryptocurrency companies at like lobbying and getting their foot in the door with it and doing big giant contracts with different businesses and kudos to them for that. So how can you not be bullish on the entire ecosystem here? There's just so many smart, creative people working on this, and kudos to the Ripple executive team for what they've accomplished so far. But again, if I have to choose between the government sector and the private sector, I'm going to choose the private sector every single time.
Now, imagine how far ahead the overall crypto community would be if that was the vibe, if that was the relationship between us and the Bitcoin community and the Ethereum community and every other community. If it was the rising tide lifting all boats, if it was acknowledging that Ripple is having 2.5-hour dinners, and not only are they representing their own interests, but they're representing the interests of the entire space. Think of how much further along we would be. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin Cash, by the way. I did add a little bit. I didn't buy much. I bought like $50 worth or something, just because I wanted to watch it a little bit more closely. I am kind of fascinated to see, though, how well it could end up performing this bull run. I think that it actually could be a nice little runner, but I don't have too big of a position right now. But I wanted to share that, Roger gets it. Roger gets what Ripple's up to, what XRP's up to. Altcoin Daily, they said that we have smart contracts. That's not really true. But what is happening is a DeFi explosion without smart contracts, which is actually almost even better, I think, in this case of XRP, because we're keeping the XRP ledger lean and mean for payments, just like Roger did with Bitcoin Cash. He, increased the block size, and he made Bitcoin actually scalable so that it could be used as peer-to-peer cash per the white paper and Satoshi's vision. Same thing's taking place over here with the XRP ledger, where we're keeping it lean and mean for payments and liquidity, but now we're adding additional functionality without smart contracts. It's a beautiful setup. Now, speaking of our validators and our developers here, we got Sparkle, Sir Sugar, our good friend here, says, I really have enjoyed running a validator so far with the XRP ledger and supporting XRP. It was an investment of both money and time, but it has been rewarding to learn more. It has been so rewarding learning more and gleaning knowledge from the amazing developers we have and those supporting the network. My first update went rather smoothly, and I'm pumped about the new amendments that were voted in by the community. Anyone saying this is centralized at this point are either ignorant or intentionally dishonest. Looking forward to a great year as I continue to learn more and seek for 5 nines of availability on the XRP or availability on the network. Now, I did respond to him, and I asked him, how much is Ripple paying you, or is Daniel forcing you to do this? And for those of you guys who don't know, that is Daniel from Casino Coin. He calls himself the CEO of the XRP ledger, right? And so I had to make a little bit of a joke there, right? How much is Ripple paying you to run this validator? And the answer would be nothing. None of our validators get paid. The best incentive is no incentive. And so basically you got guys like Sugar here that just fire up validators because they like XRP. They believe in the XRP ledger and they want to see it progress and go forward. And, you got other people that have businesses built on the XRP ledger. So they're running validators and setting up infrastructure. Nobody is paid to run our network. So what ends up happening is the validators and developers here are here for genuine, purely organic reasons. And so we really have an organic developer community. It's a beautiful thing to see. And despite all these claims, Ripple does not control. Ripple can't, if I wanted to fire up a validator today, there's no way for Ripple to stop me. Now, Ripple publishes their default UNL list, and they could suggest that I don't get added to it, or they could suggest that I do get added to it, right? If I run a good validator and have lots of uptime, then Ripple might pull me up to the big leagues and I might be one of the 35 validators. Or Ripple might not do it and the XRP Ledger Foundation might do it. Those are the two main parties that submit DUNL lists that most people follow. And basically there's overlap between the two. But anybody, in fact, Daniel from Casino Coin, I thought this was rather funny the other day. He actually removed Ripple from his DUNL list. So there's 35 validators that get to vote and decide how the network moves forward. And to prove how decentralized the XRP ledger is and that Ripple does not control it, Daniel runs one of those 35 validators, which I know it concerns me too, that the fate of the XRP ledger is, well, partially in the hands of Daniel. It is slightly concerning. I love Daniel. I like talking crap with him. But it proves the point, the fact that he was able to remove Ripple from his list and prove that anybody can put their list forward of validators and the network is completely decentralized. And I love to hear this feedback from the developers, and we're getting a lot of new developers coming into the XRP Ledger ecosystem, and it's only going to pick up from here because of all the DeFi and programmability that's now coming to the XRP Ledger. Now, I want to bring up this final point before I open it up for Q&A. This is Jeremy Hogan touching on the reserve asset conversation. And I think that Jeremy Hogan gets it. I really do. What he is explaining right here is that we're all looking through this from the crypto perspective. And I think he offers some interesting ideas on this. Let me just throw out a thought on XRP as part of a US digital asset strategic reserve. Almost everyone on Crypto X is looking at the issue from a crypto perspective. Is it decentralized? How are validators chosen? Etc. None of that really matters to the federal government. A strategic reserve is an asset, i.e. gold, oil, that the government believes it should hold in reserve in order to protect the people from something. If the US government chooses to hold XRP in a reserve, it will be because it thinks there is a benefit, maybe a hedge, against some future contingency. And maybe, just maybe, the US government has greater insight into geopolitical events than would necessitate the need to have a store of XRP in the future than Joe Smith, Bitcoin enthusiast. Well, hold up, Jeremy. You mean to tell me that the Bitcoin bros don't know everything? They don't know how the world runs completely? I figured that these guys ran the world too. Not only were they, the Bitcoin guys were going to decide the future of America, I thought these guys ran the world. And maybe the US government knows that if Ripple were to do anything to jeopardize the XRP network, etc., it could simply take control of Ripple, think World War II, or confiscate the XRP in escrow, think 1933 gold. Maybe the federal government isn't looking at this from a crypto perspective like people on here are. Just some random thoughts. I want to hear from you guys in the comments what you think about that, because I think that he's onto something. Because I've been making the case. All this debate about, is Bitcoin going to be the best to pay off the debt? Should we sell off our gold to buy Bitcoin? I've been making the case that we shouldn't even be talking about hypotheticals on paying off the debt before we figure out whether or not Trump's even going to pay it back. Trump's putting everything on the table, right? Why should we be going down hypothetical rabbit holes about paying off the debt with gold or Bitcoin or XRP? What would be the best when he might just write it off, right? I don't care to debate how we pay off the debt until it's determined that we actually are going to pay it off. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you haven't picked up on it by now, Trump is putting everything on the table. He wants his face on Mount Rushmore, and he'll do whatever it takes to get there. And all these people are worried about how the tariffs are going to impact the U.S. economy, while forgetting that he's also putting on the table removing the IRS, income, payroll, estate, and gift tax, along with cutting regulations. I promise you, we are going to do just fine if this goes through. We could have the biggest trade war ever. But if President Trump and Congress passes some sort of Fair Tax Act of 2025 like Buddy Carter submitted, what that does is removes the IRS, sends it over to the Treasury. The administration is done by the states. We remove the IRS completely. We eliminate income, payroll, estate, and gift tax. And what the heck do you think happens to the U.S. economy? It will be a boom like we have never seen before. I don't like to put boom in my titles or my thumbnails, but I promise you that if this goes through, I'm dropping a boom. And I might drop an O-face too. A little O-face thumbnail with a boom is going to happen. Okay? We ain't worried about it at all because everything's on the table. And we're rewriting all of these deals. All of it gets restructured. And so I think that too many people have been thinking of the crypto box. Oh, is it decentralized? Is it not decentralized? And the only point that I heard that was somewhat legitimate when this debate's been going on about Bitcoin or XRP in the reserve, there's one point that they made, which is the fact that Ripple controls 40% of the supply. Fair point. But when you consider what Jeremy just mentioned, right? And I've brought this up in the past too. It's why would that be a problem? The fact that they have a bag of this asset at zero cost basis, and they're in an incredible financial position where they don't necessarily need all of that XRP. They're in a position to be able to give the US government or our treasury 5 billion XRP without having to break a sweat, without having to be worried about a thing. So the fact that Ripple owns such a large amount of the supply actually is, in my opinion, a pro. It's not a con. It's a benefit to adding XRP to a strategic reserve. Is that the US government wouldn't even have to pay for it. Ripple could just gift it to them. Now, I know we're going down hypotheticals. I know maybe it won't ever happen. I know some, Bitcoin guys and some other folks say that it shouldn't even be talked about. How dare we even consider it? Well, I think it's ridiculous that we even consider selling our gold to buy Bitcoin. But I'm open to having the conversation. I would never resort to censorship or shutting down anybody. This is America. So if you think that we should sell all of our Bitcoin, we should sell off all of our gold. You think that we should sell off all of our water rights. You think that we should sell off all of our public land to go buy Bitcoin. That's what the First Amendment's about. Come on up here and make your case. I'd love to hear you explain that one. And I bet there would be some Bitcoin guys, maybe Michael Saylor would be in favor of that. Let's sell off or lease all of our public lands. Let's sell off all of our gold. Let's sell off our strategic oil reserve and let's put it all into Bitcoin. I promise you that there's a few guys that think that would be a legitimate, good plan to enact. And to and to that point, I just say, God bless America, because that's what makes this country so great, is that you are free to have stupid ideas and to speak those ideas as much as you want. Okay. And I have the right to call your idea stupid. Okay. Okay. So once again, we're looking at this through the lens of this crypto. Oh, is the crypto decentralized? Is it this? Is it that? The only point that they've had against XRP is the amount of supply that Ripple controls. And we've actually seen, we have proof that Ripple has done pre-allocation in the past. We have 1,700 contracts that are yet to be exposed, and a lot of XRP that is probably going to be divvied up to a lot of other institutions. Ripple themselves has also said that they don't plan on holding that amount of supply forever. They want to distribute XRP, and it would be in Ripple's best interest to sell off that XRP. But if they were going to give the XRP to anybody, if they were going to get a deal done, if there was an opportunity to get a deal done, right? What better way to do it than to gift some XRP to the Treasury Department? They're in the room. They are at the table. You guys let me know if there's any other assets that should be included in the strategic reserve. You guys let me know what you think, but let's open this conversation up for Q&A. I'm excited to chat with you guys tonight and see what you think about what's taking place in these markets, what you think about this conversation about a strategic reserve, what you think about this tariff war. Is this the end of the world? Let me know what you guys think. I'm refreshing my chat, refreshing the chat. That shirt's not for sale, by the way. I'm not selling that shirt. I got to wait to get permission from Brad and Stu to sell that shirt. Okay? So that shirt's not for sale right now. If I get the okay from Brad and Stu, then we'll put it up on the website. I did want to show you guys this one though. This week we went live with the XRP ship Perseverance. That one came out in April of 2020. Well, later in 2020, we actually got another one from the bear, and that was this one. That's the bear sitting by the fireplace right here, and he's watching the rocket ship. And I was having fun earlier today decoding this one with my daughter. She likes to decode all these shirts with me. She said, Daddy, there's the bear. I said, yeah? She says, what are those? I said, those are the stockings over the fireplace. And then she says, oh, there's the king, and there's the knight in the rocket ship. I said, yep. And then we actually have a play set for the kids, a little fire. It's like a pretend s'mores. So you got a little pretend fire, you got the little logs. Reminds me of Lincoln Logs. I used to play with those back when I was a kid. And so you got the logs, you got a little fire, and then you got the sticks with the marshmallows, and then you got the graham crackers and the chocolate, so we can pretend. And so we were decoding the shirt, and then we got out the pretend s'mores, and we made ourselves some s'mores too, so it was a lot of fun. But the reason why I wanted to show you guys this one is because this will be the collection that drops next week. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. XRP ship Perseverance went live this week. Next week, we'll be dropping this one. And basically, I'm starting back from the very beginning. The first Bearable Guy picture was the castle from 2016. The next one was Perseverance, which was 2018 or 2019, something like that. And then the ship, the Perseverance ship, came out in 2020. And then this one came out later on in 2020. So we're basically working, catching back up to speed here, working from the back, coming forward here as far as the timeline, the Bearable Guy timeline. And we got some other fun collections that are on the way as well too. So stay tuned for that. And I just want to let everybody know that Canada and Australia, you are live. You are live. And you don't have to pay a tariff. You do have to pay a shipping cost that is higher than I would like it to be. I'm sorry. It's about $20 to Canada, $20.99, and then it's $30.99 to Australia. My apologies. That's how much it costs us. No tariffs on you guys, but we do have to charge a little bit on the shipping. But we are live in Canada and Australia, and so I just had to plug that up real quick. All of the rest of our community resources are available at zachrector.com, and that's all I have to show you. Okay? I just had to get in a quick word from our sponsor, which is yours truly. Couldn't do it without you guys. Rapid fire Q&A. Let's go. Rapid fire Q&A. Let's roll. I love these shirts, man. These shirts have come out so nice. They're so much fun. Here we go. Let me catch up. James Hall, another chance to buy sub $3. How many more times? Yeah, James, I put out the tweet today. I said XRP's never going below $2. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. Guys, XRP, you're never going to see it below $2 again. Now, XRP below $3, we did get it. And I forgot, I haven't even shown you guys the chart on XRP yet, have we? This is what happens when you focus on fundamentals. And, you know, it's funny. I saw somebody comment on this yesterday or one of my earlier videos this week. And they said, Zach, I don't come here for tariff talk. I want to talk about crypto. Well, this is why you don't understand why your crypto's down. And this is why you're rolling blind through these markets without any sort of fundamental analysis to back what you're doing. You're navigating in the dark blind, and you wonder why your coin went down today. It's because of the overreaction from the tariffs. So the only reason that I talk about current events and political shifts is to understand how it will impact markets. Like I said, I don't care whether you like, hate, or love Trump. I don't care what God you believe in. I don't care who you love. My question for you is, are you taking advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history? That's it. So, James, another opportunity to buy below $3. It's not going to last long. Thank you for reminding us that, yes, guys, we did dip below $3 here today. Let me show you the chart real quick. We still have closed 16 days above $3. We broke our streak. We had done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 days in a row above $3. 16 days total here. But we finally did close off this day. We closed it off right at about 287.5. So we broke our 12-day long streak. We did close off below $3. Where are we at right now? Oh, wow, we're moving down right now, guys. 284. 283. Oh no. Oh no. And I'm glad that you brought this up, James, because I wanted to say this tonight. Mark my words. Mark my words. Here in a not too distant future, a week, 2 weeks, a month, you are going to be having folks wishing that they would have bought XRP under $3 because we're going to be a lot higher. Mark my words. We're going to reflect back and you're going to say, Zach, you were right. You know, those folks, those newcomers that were coming in, they're going to wish that they would have bought here sub $3 one last time. Now, if this is anything like what we did for $2 support, you can now see that we've done it. We've done the trifecta once again. So if XRP is following this same pattern that we did at $2, we've completed this is the final downside move before we break out of this bull flag, and we're looking at a $4 plus XRP imminently. Mark my words. Here in the not too distant future, you're going to be wishing that you would have picked up some more XRP sub $3. I feel very confident in saying that. Look at this, okay? Here we go. We went below $3 one time, 2 times, 3 times. That's the same exact thing that we did back here. 1, 2, 3 chances to buy XRP below $2. You were given 3 chances to buy XRP below $2 before we sent it back up to $3.40. You have now been given 3 opportunities to buy below $3. Did you take advantage of it? Are you going to take advantage of it? If you're like me, I'm not buying the dip on XRP. My bags are packed. But I am looking at some other assets right now as well too. You had 3 chances to buy below $2. You're getting 3 chances to buy below $3. Kiss it goodbye. We're going higher. Mark my words. Back to rapid fire Q&A. In the super chats, I did miss some super chats. Brian Garcia Paints, 2-spot, appreciate it. I will review XRP Healthcare. I'll just warn you, I don't think that... I'll try to be nice. Okay. Colin drops a 5-spot. Zach, stop misleading your low-income earning fans with XRP. Bitcoin to 200,000. I don't understand the point that you're trying to make. What is the point there? That Bitcoin's going to 200,000? What are we going to do? Double it up? We just tripled up our money last week on Bitcoin maxi tiers. So I don't know what you're talking about. We've been flipping that trading bag over. Bang, bang, bang. Nothing but bangers over here. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about low income. XRP community already had wealth before XRP. Many of us, like myself, are creating generational wealth with or without XRP. So I don't know what you're talking about. I appreciate the super chat, though. Thank you, Colin. Taiba, another 100-spot here from Dennis. Zach. Zach's exchange trading against their book explainer is exactly what is happening to XRP price today. Yeah. I'm glad that you see the same thing, Dennis. Yeah. This is just manipulation. There's no activity happening right now. There's not actually a bunch of people selling. It's just some manipulation. You get a lot of wash trading. You get a lot of Tether still flowing around. Remember that the number one pairing for XRP is still Tether. That's not going to be the case forever. And Tether is the opposite of transparent. So when your crypto market is propped up by Tether, you don't actually know what the real value is. We're about to find out what the fundamental values are of these assets. And guess which asset is set to benefit the most from a Tether implosion? I think you guys know the answer. Frankie J, thank you for the 20 spot. What makes a crypto a American crypto? What will be included in the US crypto stockpile? Tough question because we don't know. Nobody knows, right? Does it have to be founded in America? Does the foundation need to be in America? Do a certain percentage of the validators need to be in America? We don't know. I would suggest that if the founders or basically the company that created the project, that created the blockchain, is in America, or the foundation that created it is in America, it will be considered an American company. But you're already seeing many crypto companies that have been based outside the US are trying to get into the US as fast as possible. The one of the founders of Zinfin, Atul Khalid, I forget how to pronounce his name exactly, but you guys know who I'm talking about from XDC Zinfin. They're working on setting up offices in DC right away. But it is my opinion that Trump is going to become buddies. I mean, I have photo proof of it. That Trump is going to become buddies with those that he can resonate with, which are American companies like Ripple that took on the SEC, didn't back down, didn't leave America, and is ready to invest a lot into America. And I think that Ripple is going to be in the lead as far as, you know, what's all going to be included in the strategic reserve. The state bills that are being passed right now are putting a threshold, a minimum requirement that it has to have a market cap of 750 billion. So right now, Bitcoin is the only asset that would actually be included in the reserve if it was a requirement that it had to have over 750 billion in market cap. Now, of course, I do think that XRP is going to achieve a 750 billion market cap later this bull run. I don't think that will be a problem. And I don't even necessarily think that should be a requirement. But I think that it's a very small list that should be considered in the strategic reserve. And it should be primarily utility cryptocurrencies. And I think that we should hold the Bitcoin that we have. I don't think that we need to buy more Bitcoin, but we should hold what we got. Will Fix, thank you for the 2-spot. Awesome deep dive today in XCN. Loved it, sir. Will, I appreciate that. And guys, I got to say, I really appreciate the feedback, because on my XCN deep dive, for every one comment that I got from somebody saying that I'm a paid shill from Ripple trying to FUD XCN, from people telling me that they don't want a 30-minute deep dive, they want a hype video. For every one comment that we got of that, I got 10 comments of people telling me, hey, thanks for helping me understand what I invested in. Hey, thanks for explaining to me what's actually going on here. And that's why I do what I do. I know when I make these videos that they're not going to perform like my XRP videos do. I know that today I have less views than I do on a typical day, because the XCN video, I think it was over 10,000 views. We've been putting out videos that are getting 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views per day. XRP hype is what sells and what has grown my channel. But what also has grown my channel is giving people the truth and being unbiased and not being bought out, and being able to call it how I see it. And so I made the playlist 2025 coin reviews, and I'm going to keep on dropping these. And not all of these are going to be 30 minutes long either. Some of these projects is only going to be a 4 or 5 minute update on these projects, because there's just not going to be that much to talk about. So I'm going to keep them coming. I love the feedback that you guys are giving me. This is why I do it. You know, I understand some people aren't going to like it. But like I said, my mentor Dan Pena says, do you want to be liked or do you want to be effective? And how's your program working out? Trying to be liked versus how do I be effective? Now, continuing on. Jeremy had dropped a 12 spot, and he asked the question, would you consider holding 30,000 XRP a good position to make a large profit sometime in the next 2 years? Yes. 30,000 XRP at $10 is 300,000. Right? 30,000 XRP at $30, you're approaching $1 million. You're going to do all right. I think you're going to do just fine if you play your cards right. Yeah. I still think we got a $15 to $20 conservative XRP this bull run, but I'm not willing to rule out $25 to $30. After my research on the market cap multiplier, I've come to the determination of just how easy it's going to be. It's going to be a lot easier than I had originally anticipated to move XRP to 20 and $30. You don't need trillions of dollars of inflows. You need 10, 20, 50 billion of inflows to go achieve a $30 XRP. And yes, JP Morgan predicted 8 billion of inflows from the XRP ETFs year one. And yes, Brad Garlinghouse did confirm with us on XRP Community Day that we will handedly surpass that 8 billion. You apply a 50x multiplier to that, you apply a conservative 50x, 100x multiplier to that, we're moving to a $15, $20 XRP and beyond with ease. Okay. More comments, more questions. I'm refreshing the chat. James, if Tether is delisted, will that kill Bitcoin price? Yes, I think it will be impacted. Yeah. Tether's still doing over half the volume in this cryptocurrency market. It's still doing a lot of the volume for XRP. XRP will be hit too. But once again, it's the same with all these other black swan scenario events. Which assets will recover the fastest and strongest? XRP will because of RLUSD. XRP will because you have a lot of spot buyers. There's not a lot of leverage that has got XRP to this price point. There's a lot of leverage that has got Bitcoin and other assets to pump. For XRP, it's mostly been spot. And Ripple talked about this in their Q4 market report as well too, about how XRP's price increase has primarily been driven, and I've been tracking this on the order books, and it was really nice to get that confirmation from Ripple as well. James, I appreciate the 5 spot. I did purchase your Patreon XEN video. The Ninja did get me. Thank you for the good info. Also learned a bit more on how to further research tokens, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. I'm going to be putting together a video, basically just providing the checklist that I have to research coins. And like I said, the number one question that you can ask to save yourself all the time in the world is just ask yourself who's using the token, or not yourself. Go ask people in the community. Go ask your favorite AI. Go ask Google, whatever you want to do. Who's using the token? And the answer to that question will save you 90% of your time. But I'm going to be dropping a separate video, not only on all these other coin reviews that I plan on doing for this bull run, but I'm going to drop my own checklist. Basically how I review these coins so that you'll be equipped to do your own research. You won't have to wait around for me to do a deep dive on a project. You'll be able to take this checklist, you'll be able to ask the right questions, and you'll be able to get yourself an answer. And then you can match it up with my analysis as well. Somebody said Canada is effed. I know. I haven't seen any super chats from the Canadians tonight. Hopefully I didn't trigger them too much. I didn't drop any 51st state jokes tonight. I know that's been triggering some Canadians, and it's all with love. I just want to make that point. It's all love. I go up to Canada all the time and spend my good American fiat funny money up there for you guys, okay? I go support you guys. I go to Tim Hortons. I like Canada a lot. I go up there very often. We come in peace. Okay. I know our president is slapping 25% tariffs on you guys, but we come in peace. Okay. On behalf of all Americans, I just want to say that we come in peace. It's just, I'm sorry it has to be this way, but we have to start negotiations up here. Yeah. What's Flair doing actually? Yeah, I'm going to be dropping that. There we go. There we go. Low IQ. What's your name? Low IQ Detector. Thank you for the 5 spot Canadian. New to your channel. What are your top 5 holdings besides XRP? XRP to the moon. It's XLM. It's XDC. Trying to think. My second largest position is actually cash right now. If you were curious of, my portfolio overall, my second largest position is actually cash. Now XRP is by far my biggest holding from a dollar standpoint. Second's cash. But in crypto, it would be XLM, XDC, and then I wouldn't know where my other 4 and 5 spots are at right now. But I will update you guys on my holdings if you would like. I'll update it on that. Okay. Let's go, Canada. I love my Canadian friends up north. Ben Johnson, thank you for the 5 spot. Can you do deep dives into Jasmy or Ondo? Yeah, big partnership announcement between Ondo and Ripple this week. Ondo going to bring their tokenized treasuries, which is that a hair on me? The tokenized treasuries are from BlackRock's treasury fund. What is, there it is. Got a hair. Ondo, big deal. That's going to be nice. We have BlackRock's treasury fund now tokenized and on the XRP ledger through the Ondo Ripple partnership. So I should deep dive Ondo. I know that the coin has appreciated lately. What was the other coin that you said? Jasmy. I know a lot of people have been asking about Jasmy. And by the way, guys, I think that, we are going to surprise some folks, because I'll be honest with you guys. If I see a project that doesn't have strong fundamentals and adoption, right, but it has a lot of momentum, I will let you guys know that that's my observation. I mean, that's what I do with a lot of these coins. The SEI token is a great example of that. SEI, the SEI token. The first time I traded it, I bought it, 60, 70 cents. I think it was 73 cents. And I sold it off at 95 cents or something like that. I only made 30% profit on it, right? But I went into that trade knowing that it was a momentum trade with a very limited amount of fundamentals. They were talking about their utility in spaces. I tuned into some of their spaces. Really nerdy, and kind of just not my thing. But I suffered through some of these spaces to try to get some education on these projects and their ecosystems. And they, whatever. But what they had was enough utility to sell a narrative, and that narrative was drawing some attention and some momentum. And then they also had memes, because they were the SEI token, and it kind of has a relation to Dragon Ball Z in the Super Saiyan mode. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. And so maybe some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys, millennials, my age, you might know about Dragon Ball Z. I guess maybe Gen Xers too. Maybe you guys watch some Dragon Ball Z as well too. But nonetheless, they had memes, they had some utility, and then they had momentum. So that trade was a swing trade based off of just that. I wasn't going to hold the coin. I wasn't going to wait around for them to develop a use case. I wasn't going to wait around for any. I was in, out 30%. Not a 3x, not a 30x, not a 100x, 30%. You got to know when to fold them. Or in this case, know when to take profit. Pull your chips off the table and take your money and run. And that coin went up to about $1.10, and then it fell back down, and it's gone back down to 20 cents. I bought back in at 50 cents, thinking that, I'm going to get back into this little momentum trade. I'm making my slick little trades here. And then that sucker's dumped back down to 30 cents. And so I'm down on that trade right now. My second time trading the SEI token, I'm down. And that's how it goes. You win some, you lose some. I was up 30% the first time I traded it. I'm probably down 30% right now. But I still think that it's going to come back because, like I said, it has enough utility to sell that narrative plus memes. That's a recipe for a pump. And so when I do these deep dives, I'll be very clear with you guys. Hey, this coin's pumping. It has momentum. Ride it up a little bit further, but know to take your money and run, and that this isn't a long-term hold, because we can't confirm anything that this company's talking about. We don't know who the hell's doing what, but the number's going higher. So treat it like a momentum trade. Nothing more, nothing less. And take your money and run. Jasmine and Ondo, we'll do those for you. Yeah. Linda Hogan, thank you for the 5 spot. What are your thoughts on H-Bar? There was news about GeForce RTX 5090 starting at $1,999. What is this? Said game changer. I don't know. What is that? Is that like a new chip? Somebody says, I still watch cartoons and I'm over 40. Overlord was fire. I will say, I had to give up video games because I have a very addictive personality. I go all in. And so, you guys see that with crypto and content and everything here. I had to give up video games because there's no other way to describe it other than just addicted to the video games. And I I played Call of Duty hardcore. Not the hardcore mode. I hated hardcore mode when you could get the one-shot kills. I hated that. I like standard, okay? Search and destroy, domination, maybe mix in a little bit of headquarters, right? But we were destroyed it. Quickscoping, 360 quickscopes, all of it. That was so much fun, man. We had such a good time doing that. That was such a fun time in my life. But I literally lost days of my life playing video games. I remember on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I had 30 days of gameplay. 30 days of gameplay. Like 30 24-hour periods. Yeah, I literally spent a whole month of my life playing that game. And that was just Call of Duty MW 2, Modern Warfare 2. That wasn't everything else. The last game that I played was Battlefield 3. I really like the realistic and I really like the shooter. So I was big into Call of Duty, Halo, and then Battlefield was the last game that I played. And I would literally rage when I would go like 30-2. I would get upset, like very upset, because I didn't have a flawless game. Like I was intense when I played those games. And I was so intense and I spent so much time that I had to give it up because I knew it was time for me to start my business, start investing, get some stuff cooking for myself. I couldn't be a young one forever. But the point of why I brought that up is because I'm eyeballing this GTA 6, which I love the Grand Theft Auto collections. I played all of those. And I saw the trailer for that GTA 6, and then I hear that they're talking about implementing some crypto into it. I'm like, ooh. And then I've been thinking, I'm like, I could start a streaming channel too, right? I could, do Twitch or something like that, and I could stream while I game, because I'm trying to justify, how could I game but still make some money? Well, I could Twitch stream, right? Or I could, just make in-game crypto. But I don't have time. I wish I did. I wish I did. But I just can't. I know I can't. I can't get back into it. But the GTA 6 does look pretty sick. I will say that. Yeah, I gave the games up and I've never looked back. Yep. Amani, thank you for the 5 spot. Thoughts on Flare reaching 50 cents based on what price of XRP? Yeah, we're waiting for the Flare F assets to go live. We need that. We need that ASAP. Honestly, Flare's all-time high for me is the number that it went to after the IOUs, after it went live. I don't consider the IOU price the all-time high for Flare. In fact, if I go to CoinMarketCap, I need to look this up once again. I thought it was like 9 cents. If I'm not mistaken, it's 9 cents. Yeah, the all-time high was January 9th, and it was just below 8 cents. So you asked me, can Flare hit 50 cents? Not this bull run. In my opinion, not this bull run. No. And this is a prime example. Flare is a prime example of how I'm playing this bull run. I'm looking for projects like Flare that I can get in here at 2 cents, even 3 cents, right? And I can ride them up to their previous all-time high of 8, 9, 10 cents, and I got myself a 3x, a 4x, a 5x. These are the type of opportunities that I'm looking for. Now, at that level, I'm probably going to sell off a good chunk of my bag. And then I will look to see, how much momentum does it still have at that point. And I would be shocked to see Flare break above 25 cents this bull run, to be honest with you. When I do my Flare deep dive, which will be coming this next week, I will update you on my price targets and I will let you know. But I appreciate you bringing that one up, Amani, and I appreciate your super chat. I'll let you. I don't think 50 cents. I don't for Flare. I think 20%, maybe. Yeah. I'm addicted to World of Warcraft. Is that what that is? WoW's World of Warcraft? That's just nerdy. I got a little bit nerdy. I'll admit, I am a little nerdy. I mean, we kind of do this crypto stuff, right? It's a little bit nerdy. But the World of Warcraft, and the Fortnite stuff that I see the kids playing now, no, No. I need realistic graphics. I need a realistic game. And for whatever reason, I played the sports games back in the day, but by the time Halo and Modern Warfare came out, it was all in on the first-person shooters. I want to make sure I didn't miss our other super chats that we got. That was from RJ Prime 10 spot. I see gold breaking 3,000 this year and silver breaking 50. What's your take? Yes. Yes to gold breaking 3,000. Silver, I would love to see it break $50. Okay. We did see that it broke $30. There's a big level of resistance here at about 33 to $35. We have to break through that. But between that level of 35 to $50, there's really not much resistance. So if we can break $35, I think that we're well on our way to 50. Does that happen this year? There's a good chance. If you look at how gold and silver performed during the first Trump administration, they went off. They did really well. And they've already done really well since the election as well, too. Remember, all this chaos that was taking place this week in the markets, gold went and said, we don't know what you guys are doing over here, but we're setting a new all-time high. And in fact, I have a post in regards to gold and the gold deliveries coming out of the COMEX. We've never seen these levels before. We're literally in unprecedented territory for gold right now. So gold to 3,000 this year, yes, 100%. Silver to $50 this year, I'd flip a coin. But in the next 24 months, yes. In my opinion, yes. During this second Trump administration, 1,000% yes. Yeah. Stu, thank you for the 15 spot, brother. Zach, could you look into CeeLo? Yes. Boy, you guys are going to keep me busy here, huh? You guys are going to keep me busy, huh? You guys got to promise me this, though. With all of these coins that I do reviews and deep dives on, I need you guys to max engage with these videos. Either like it or don't like it, but give me something. Smack it, tap it, up, down. I need you to react. I need you to drop a comment, and then I'm going to need you to share it out far and wide. And either say, oh, wow, Zach did a deep dive on Flare, and it sucks. Or, Zach did a deep dive on Flare, and I really learned a lot. But I need you to max engage because basically anything outside of XRP content does not do as well. So I would greatly appreciate your guys' help for max engaging. So if you like it, if you don't like it, just make sure you smack it for me, okay? Thank you. CeeLo, we'll do it. Thank you, Stu. Nebula, thank you for the 5 spot. Trying to find altcoins. Have you heard of Quebetics? Goes by the ticker TICS. TICS. Do you know anything about it? Thanks. No. What are they doing? I'd be interested to hear, what are they doing? Before I'm going to put them on my list, Nebula. Oh, you did give me a super chat, so maybe I should add it to my list. I appreciate your support. But I get weirded out by these weird names. I understand that we're using weird names every single day. We use Google. We use weird names for these companies, right? But Quebetics, TICS, just the name right there gives me the, okay, what are we doing here? You know, what are they cooking up over there? I'll write down the ticker. Gosh. I don't like looking at a bunch of shoot coins. I don't like looking at a bunch of crap. Okay? So please only request coins that actually have something cooking. Please. Axide, good to see you, brother. Thank you for the 5 spot. I get you, man, with the addictive sense. I had 360 days worth on World of Warcraft. Oh my gosh, I knew that I was bad, but I know that there's people that are a lot more deep into these games. A full year of your life on World of Warcraft. Got myself to stop in 2013, got a BA in business, traveled a lot, life felt good. There you go. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, if you have that personality, you can't give it up. You can't give it up. Yeah. Yeah, boy. I actually think that part of the reason why my eyesight, I mean, I think that naturally genetics, I wasn't blessed with, I was never going to have 20/20 vision forever. But I do think that part of my eyesight has been burned from looking at that screen for so long. I do think that I did that to myself. You're just tweaking out and twitching with the quick scopes, right? Back with Call of Duty, right? I remember playing on full sensitivity, 10 sensitivity, just tweak it out, spinning around 360, jumping off walls, throwing a flashbang, bang, bang. What were we? We were crazy back then, weren't we? Pops, thank you for the 2 spot. Bro, we need a stronghold deep dive. Yeah, we do. That's a very, very interesting project. We might need to call Stronghold a sleeper because a lot of people have been overlooking that one. I picked up a bag a while ago, but it probably wasn't big enough. That coin's gone on a tear. I'm going to pull up the chart on that right now, actually. Stronghold, we'll do that. Yeah, that's been an interesting one. It's been a runner. Definitely been a runner. Here's the daily chart on SHX. Let's go back to the election and see how much of a return that we've gotten since our election day. This thing was down at a third of a penny, up 487%, so nearly a 5x. That's one heck of a run on Stronghold. Gosh, I wish I would have picked up some more. I really wish I would have picked up some more of that one. They got some good stuff cooking over there on Stronghold. I know we'll have some good stuff to talk about with that deep dive. Yeah. Now, I always want more. I always want more from these projects. Even on the projects that do have something cooking and they got a few partnerships here and there, I always want more. So we'll be doing that one. Yeah. We'll be doing that one for sure. Polona, thank you for the 5 spot. Euro, there was 430 million XRP transferred from unknown wallet to Ripple 3 hours ago. Is this the escrow? Yes. Yeah, the big XRP transactions that you're seeing today are most likely the escrow. It's the first day of the month, so $1 billion's been released. If you look at the Q4 market report, basically Ripple released about just shy of 300 million XRP each month in October, November, December. So it was a total of just shy of about 900 million XRP that got released by Ripple from the escrow in Q4. So I would anticipate that they'll keep up with that level for the time being until we get ETFs and until we get more institutions going live. Then I think that we could see that number change, and Ripple could start, releasing 500 million. They could start releasing 600-700 million per month. If they're selling it off into the ETF, if they're selling it off to their institutional partners that can finally go live here in the United States of America, if they can finally execute the pre-allocation contracts that they've had lined up for years, then we could see that number increase. But for now, you see those flows, and a lot of the times, you'll see people try to jump on this and try to FUD this. Oh, Ripple's about to dump 400 million. No, they're not. If you do what we've done, which is actually read the market reports that Ripple puts out every single quarter, you will see the same thing that we're seeing, which is that Ripple is returning most of the XRP back into the escrow. And when it gets sent back to the escrow, it gets locked back up for 38 months because we have 38 billion in escrow. So for Ripple to get access to that XRP, they would have to dump $1 billion every single month for the next 38 months to get that XRP that they're putting back into the escrow this month. So the XRP that gets locked up today can't be touched essentially for another 38 months is just one way to look at it, right? For this supply to be fully dumped, they'd have to dump $1 billion every single month for the next 38 months. But it'll never happen other than them basically picking up these releases to sell off to institutional partners or to the ETFs. Chosen One Collecting, thank you for the 2 spot. New to gold, best way to invest, bars, coins, ETFs. Definitely not ETFs. If you're trapped in a 401k retirement account, then yeah, that might be your only option. But if you can self-direct, or if you can get away and you can just get the metals in your safe, your vault, like our good friend Lynette Zhang says, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Obviously, if you have a lot to allocate towards gold, you might need to keep it in somebody else's vault. But that's something to look at if you're at a certain threshold. But for most people, I would just be investing in the bars and the coins. Yeah, I would just be investing in the bullion. I would avoid the ETFs for gold and silver completely. I would avoid the ETFs for crypto completely. And it's like our long-term holdings for crypto, cold storage. Long-term holdings for gold and silver in our vault, right next to our freedom seeds. Second Amendment, if you know what I'm talking about. Thoughts on tokenizing gold? I think it's going to be massive, and I think that it's one of the many reasons why the idea that Bitcoin is going to replace gold completely is laughable. Because as gold gets tokenized, it becomes liquid, and in fact, it can actually become more liquid than Bitcoin. It can become more fluid and efficient. It can have more liquidity than Bitcoin. People aren't really considering this. Yes, Bitcoin can move faster than gold now. Yeah, Bitcoin's much better than gold as far as transportability now. But as soon as gold gets tokenized, if you tokenize gold on the XRP ledger, that gold is going to be more liquid and more efficient and cheaper to move and faster to move than Bitcoin. And it won't even be close. So you still would have the store of value of gold, but it would be more liquid than Bitcoin. So this idea that Bitcoin is always going to have more transportability than gold is 100% flawed. We're just waiting for the right people to come along to tokenize the gold and the silver. I was having a conversation with Andy up in Vancouver this past couple weekends ago at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference about him working on this and others in the space working on it. I was talking with Lynette and the president of her company. We were talking with them about tokenizing gold as well. And I told them both the same thing. We need a reputable source like an Andy Schectman, Miles Franklin. We need a reputable source like a Lynette Zhang. We need somebody that's reputable to issue tokenized gold on blockchain. And it's going to be massive. Refreshing the chat right now. Comments, questions, keep them coming. Keep them coming. XRPCs or Pisces. Thank you for the 5 spot. Please do a deep dive on Velo. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been talking about that one, kind of in tandem with SHX. I don't own any of that one, but I know a lot of people have been talking about it. How much does it cost to move Bitcoin? Well, the transactions can cost you anywhere from a few bucks all the way up to $50, $100 at times. So it is a lot. Yeah. And there's no scalability in sight that's coming for Bitcoin. I mean, the Lightning Network, they just announced that Tether can now be used on Lightning. So the Lightning Network, which is intended to scale Bitcoin, is now going to be available for Tether. So why would you even use Bitcoin and expose yourself to the volatility when you could just send a stablecoin transaction using Tether? And although Tether does depeg from time to time, you're going to have a relatively more stable transaction without any sort of volatility risk versus using Bitcoin. So it's like, why do we need the Bitcoin network for Lightning? Why do we need the Lightning network for Bitcoin when now we have it for Tether? And if you're just going to use Tether, why do you even need to use the Lightning network? Does it make it faster? No. Lightning can't handle large transactions. Yeah. Yeah. Zach, what do you suggest how the U.S.-Canadian relations can improve? This is really negatively snowballing from Atlantic Living. I think that this whole deal is going to work out like TikTok did. I really do. And maybe it will, I mean, it's here. The TikTok ban lasted like 12 hours. It wasn't very long. These tariffs, I mean, this could drag on for a minute. But I think that, one, it's a massive overreaction. And two, I think that a deal will be done much sooner rather than later. So I don't think that it's not too much of a concern. And especially, for us Americans, and I'm not trying to come off like, we're untouchable here in America. No, we will be hit. I mean, we saw how the supply chain hit us back in 2020. We saw how inflation hit us. And that should be of note. I started off this episode by talking about no matter whether it's the tariffs or whatever it's going to be that's pulling back down these markets, if you believe and follow what the media wants you to do, be in full panic, a perpetual state of fear at a lower vibrational frequency, full of fear and full of inaction, and you run to the bunker, run to the hills, and you sideline all of your cash and you don't have any of your positions, you're going to make the same mistake that people did back in March of 2020 in thinking that the world was going to come to an end and thinking that you need to take all your chips off the table. You would have missed the largest V-shaped recovery that we've had in our financial markets since they've existed. I think the same thing's going to happen here with the tariffs. This will not last. I don't think that this will last. I think that Trump, the master of the art of the deal, is starting negotiations from a tough standpoint. But I think at the end of the day, a deal will be done, and I don't think it'll take long. These are pretty drastic tariffs that will impact a lot. There's a lot of negatives that will be impacted. And to me, we have to rip the Band-Aid off. We have to rip the Band-Aid off. Okay. The alternative is to continue losing at trade deals, to continue running high deficits, to continue expanding our debt, to continue devaluing the dollar. And this is what's sending us towards the trajectory of, I hate to say it, but towards a third world country. The standard of living and the opportunity that we once had, it ain't what it used to be. And this is where we're at right now. Like I said, if we continue down that path, that's where we're going. And that's what the controllers would have. If the controllers had their way, that would be our trajectory. America would become a third world country. We would lose our identity in every aspect. Our culture, way of life, everything. No identity. We would all just be grays. No identity. Right? We would just, anything and everything goes. No values, no morals, no standards, no reserve currency. We lose that. No law and order. And that's basically what you had going on in America for the past little bit here. Very quickly, things are changing. And I think that those that let the fear and the panic sideline them from making their investments, stop them from making the investments, they're going to have massive regrets when this thing slingshots and we get a similar V-shaped recovery that we got in 2020. But the point that the reason why I went back to this, to reiterate this point once again, was to acknowledge that the tariffs and the pain that America is going to go through is not going to be something light. It's going to be rough. It's going to be bumpy. I anticipate that the first half of this year is going to be volatile as hell. And there's a lot of concerns that I have for the broader market, for the stock market, for our real estate market. But like I said, look at the assets that we're holding. How's our gold doing? It's at an all-time high. How's our silver doing? It's at $30, ready to break out higher. How's our XRP doing? It's doing what it's never done before, closing 16 days above $3. All-time high monthly closes back-to-back December and January. Now, are we going to be invincible because we hold gold or silver and XRP? No. When we go to the grocery store, we're going to feel it. When we go to fill up the tank, we're going to feel it. When we go to do anything, you're already feeling it. And so, like I said, do we want to just, continue to whine and, our mama's going to pull off the Band-Aid slowly and end up, basically, there is no recovery from this if we don't address it? Or are we going to step up, acknowledge we have some problems, we got to face them? It's like the government cuts. We have to do it. 50% of the office space that the United States government owns or leases is not being used. Is that going to crash commercial real estate in DC? Well, it already was crashing, and it's going to get worse. But like I said, these are growing pains that we have to go through if we want to restore our republic, if we want to save our reserve currency status, and if we want to improve our standard of living here in the United States of America. Has to be done. Sorry, your cheap stuff from China might not be as cheap. We got to save this country, right? Now, like I said, you look at TikTok, everybody's freaking out. I was laughing. Every time I went on TikTok, there's a new TikToker doing some dramatic goodbye. Oh, this is going to be the last time I see you guys. There's a trend. Oh, since TikTok's shutting down, let's reveal our secrets. And people spill the tea on their deepest and darkest secrets and crazy stuff. And then TikTok goes down for 12 hours and comes back, and now we know all your dirty secrets. But I was making the comments at the time. I said, I'm not worried about this at all. There's no way Trump lets TikTok go away. There's no way that we allow this to happen. And sure enough, he gave us an extension. And sure enough, we have multiple buyers that are ready to buy TikTok. It wasn't ever going away. And I tried to get access to TikTok. That was during Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. And I thought that I was going to be slick. I was going to make a funny little TikTok and say, all right, guys, don't worry. I've escaped to Canada. I'll be able to keep putting out the TikToks. Don't you worry. I went across the border and I still didn't have access to TikTok. So they must have marked me as an American. Don't let that American on TikTok. So despite me escaping to Canada, I was not able to access TikTok. But I didn't have any concerns at all. And I still don't with TikTok going away. But boy, was it ridiculous. I mean, so dramatic. And I get a lot of people make their living on TikTok and that would be rough. I guess I could kind of sit back and laugh on it because I don't really make that much money on TikTok. TikTok for me is just additional community building. That's really what I do on TikTok is just build the community for. I mean, it's an incredible platform. Don't get me wrong. I would have been upset if TikTok did go away, but no, I think that we're going to work all this out. We're going to restructure some trade deals. America's going to have a better deal, and it's going to be fair for both sides, right? We want to work with America, or we want to work with Canada. We want to work with Mexico. We want to work with everybody, but we want to do so on a level playing field. And it sickens me, the amount of foreign aid that we send all over the place. It sickens me, the amount of money that we spend on these wars. It sickens me, the amount of American lives that have been lost fighting these bankster wars for the military-industrial complex. It sickens me, the amount of innocent lives and destruction that America has caused through these banker wars. It sickens me as an American. But as I've always said here for the past few years, whether you support sending foreign aid here, being in this war, domestic program back home, handout for you, no matter what program you want to fund, we can't cut a check that is actually going to cash. We're broke, we're bust, and it's time for us to bite the bullet here suck it up, toughen up. If it means we need to produce more here, then that's what we're going to have to do. Sitting around crying about it's not going to do anything for us. And so that's where I'm at with the tariffs deal. I think it's a massive overreaction. And I think that everything will be sorted out in no time. A few more minutes here. Comments, questions. Let me get them. Justin Kaiser, thank you for the 2 spot. XRP going to Detroit Dump City or El de Lambo? We're having a little bit of a pullback here, but we're going to have massive support come in if we do dip a little bit further down to 265, where we just went to the other day on Sunday. We'll have orders placed. I already know people in our community have already let me know that we have orders placed all the way at 280, 270, 265. So we'll find support there. I don't think that we're going to Detroit Dump City. Are we going to Lambo time? We are. Yeah. Should you buy a Lambo? Maybe that's a different conversation, but to each their own. Okay. No Lambo for me. But I might come take a ride in your Lambo, and I am planning on coming on your boat. So I am expecting you guys to buy the yachts. Okay. No yacht for me. I will chip in. I will bring my own beer. I will bring a good time, and we will have fun on your boat. Okay. But I'm no Lambos for me, no yachts for me. Maybe one day I'll open up the compound ranch that I'll own, and we'll have a party up there. Maybe we'll have some XRP community parties at the compound. That's what we'll do. That's where I'm going to be at. There won't be a Lambo parked in my compound. James, thank you. James, what do you think about the new Texas Stock Exchange? Yeah, I love it, man. I love the competition. I love it. And I love the fact that they're talking about tokenizing that stock market too. BlackRock being involved is obviously slightly worrisome, but as I've been saying, if you do tokenize all these markets with full transparency, this is what we need. This is what we need. I think that this is why the incumbents have been hesitate to tokenize the stock market, is because they don't want to have to actually share all their trades. I talked about this earlier this week or last week in an episode. We finally have surpassed the threshold, if that's the right word, where basically over half of the trading now for stocks is done off of public exchanges. Basically in a black market, not black market, that's not the right term, but essentially it is the same thing. Off-market transactions in OTC markets is where over half of the trading of the stock market takes place now. This is why they don't want to tokenize it, because half of the trading, and basically all of their trading, the BlackRocks, all the insiders and big Wall Street players, it's all OTC. It's all off of the public exchanges for you and I to see. That's just how they like it. And that's why the derivatives market is well into the quadrillions. We can't even track it. It's a shadow asset class. We can't track it. Oh, crap. I forgot that it was supposed to be movie night with me and wifey. I forgot about that. I was only planning on going live for an hour, and here we go. We just surpassed 2 hours. Whoopsies. Whoopsies. I'll have to tell wifey sorry about that one. What's your price prediction for XLM in 2025? Do you think it will peak in March? Sorry, I think that $2 is easily done. I don't think that we stretch up to $5, but I think that XLM could do about a 2 to 3x of its previous all-time high, which is about 94 cents to $1. So I got targets for XLM around $2, and I would be looking to sell off most of my bag at $2 to $3. $2 to $3. And honestly, I need to do another XLM deep dive. I have one of the most viewed, I think it actually is. Last time I checked, I have the most viewed XLM deep dive on YouTube. And it was from a couple years ago. And a lot of the information is still relevant because on that XLM deep dive, I talked a lot about the history of XLM. So it's like a good, if you guys don't know the history of XLM, I would encourage you guys to watch that. If you just type in XLM deep dive into the search bar, you'll see it. It was done a few years ago, but a lot of the information is still relevant. But I'm going to have to drop an updated XLM deep dive because there's been a lot that's been taking place over there as well too. Chop Life, thank you for the gifts over here on TikTok. I appreciate that. I initially pulled my money out of the 401k knowing it would eventually crash. Wife thought that I was nuts. You know, I've been saying that we have an overvalued stock market, and especially going into 2024 here, I've been saying that this has to correct. And all it took was one little narrative out of China to kind of make that, and the market had already started to roll over. But then we got the DeepSeek AI narrative this week that came out, and that really smacked us up. And then now the tariffs have been added to that. And then you add some of these other situations that we have in the pipeline. And then, yeah, this is why I think you're going to see that stock market come down substantially more. Substantially. And, you know, okay, even if the stock market doesn't crash and it does continue going up, what are you making in the stock market? 5, 10, 15, 20%? I mean, a 15 or a 20% on the year for a stock is like incredible. Meanwhile, over here in crypto, we just saw XCN pump 4,000% in the past 3 months. 4,000. That's a 40x on XCN for some of you guys. From fractions of a penny to 5 cents. And so that's why I can't even, there is no comparison. There is no comparison. I know a lot of people trade options in the stock market. I get that, yeah. And I get that a lot of people are also invested in the stocks because they're in their 401k retirement account. They've had limited options. But thankfully now there are a lot of different platforms that are coming that allow you to roll 401ks over to precious metals, that allow you to roll 401ks over to crypto. And I think that there's now some platforms that are allowing you to roll over to private equity as well too. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of these alternative investments being available for the 401ks and retirement accounts. All right, guys. It's been a lot of fun here tonight. Like I said, I went a little bit longer than I was supposed to. I forgot about that. Better run off to movie night here with wifey. I hope that you guys have a good rest of your evening, a blessed Sunday. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these markets open up on Monday. A lot of people spooked, a lot of people scared. There's no fear over here. And I know for the real ones in our community, we're not shaken by any of this. Our investments are holding up incredibly well, and they're set to recover even better when we do break out of this thing. And you know, when you look at XRP right now, it looks like to me, just like we did at $2. You had 3 opportunities to buy XRP below $2. We blasted off to $3.40. Right now, you're getting your final third and last opportunity to buy below $3 before we send this sucker up to $4.50. And that could happen in the next couple weeks. I know my prediction didn't come for an all-time high in January, but I'm just rolling. I'm moving the goalpost, and now the goalpost is here in February. And I'm going to stand here with conviction here tonight as we wrap up this episode and tell you that, yes, I do believe 100% XRP is going to a new all-time high of $4 and beyond in February. So strap in. You guys go have your movie night with wifey or whatever you guys are going to do. Before you leave, can you guys help me out by tapping it and liking it? I greatly appreciate you. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com. The XRP ship Perseverance did drop this week. And next week, you got the bear by the fireplace. I like this one too. This is a good one. You guys have a blessed night. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care out there.